We'll start with Joey Savatgy. Let's talk about that first moto win. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to talk to you on the podium. What happened with the ankle? I saw the boot come off right away, but what happened to the incident, and where's it at right now?
Just caught into it with a lapper. I'm sure as anybody watched Washougal, I actually came together with a lapper there as well and took him down. Felt bad, but they, at least lately for me, like they've been checking up and letting me kind of go by, but then they get on the gas too early, and a lot of the times the ruts, are separate ruts, but at the end they come together. So it was the same here. That left-hander before the big sky shot tabletop, he checked up and went to let me by, and kind of got going too early and made contact. I don't know if it was his fork tube or foot peg, but actually put a hole in the boot and top of the foot. So it's a little bruised, but we'll be all right.
And Jeremy, let's talk about that second moto. Obviously, you guys were lined up ready to go, and then they gave another cell coming in. Your thought process lining up the first time and then having to go back and come back again. Talk us through the motions.
Yeah, honestly, I was kind of like, man, they should just run us, because when we came back, it probably didn't rain. What do you guys say for?
We would have made the moto, I think. I think we would have been close to.
It didn't rain for a while, but I mean, hindsight's 20/20, But yeah, and then we just sat around for a while, and most of the guys were joking around and under my truck, and I was just kind of hanging out by myself because I kind of knew we'd moto again. And then we went back out, and it was a full-on mutter, and I just got to start at the right time today, guys.
I think that makes it 6 hole shots for the season, so you've been pulling them quite consistently.
Yeah, I definitely in the beginning of the season, I kind of struggled the last couple of races, but we made some setup changes, and it seemed to help today.
Zach, talk us through the first moto for you, going 3.5 for the day. Obviously, points, the cushion's pretty good, but you can't let your guard down with guys like this sitting next to you.
Yeah, for sure. There's no time to sleep on these guys. The first moto, I just struggled for rhythm a little bit in the middle of the moto, and got off to like a 10th place start, which didn't help me, but I had a really good last 2 laps and made 2 passes to get into third, and that kind of salvaged the moto for me. And then the second moto, again, like a 10th place start, and made it to 5th, and that was kind of all I could do.
We've seen some rough starts for you where you're still up a player in the game towards the end of the moto. Do you find that mental switch that happens, or just your physical endurance that really causes you to keep pushing towards the end?
More my endurance than anything. I just feel confident in my fitness and my program and speed right now, and I don't get scared of getting tired, I guess. I'm just going as hard as I possibly can for as long as I possibly can. So it's the same sort of thing as like Unadilla or Washougal, where I threw up after the moto. I just went until I couldn't go anymore.
Joey, not the greatest start in moto number 2. You knew you had to do some quick moves quickly. Talk us through the start and where you decided to pull the trigger.
Yeah, like you said, I would have loved to have gotten a good start that second moto, but got a little bit of wheel spin when we left the gate, and probably about 5-10 feet out, I was pretty much covered in mud. So I got that out of the way pretty quick, which was nice. But no, I figured I needed to make passes, and I knew if I could make them quicker or sooner than later, I'd be better off. Simply because I figured as the moto went on, people would figure out the lines and where to go, where not to go. So I knew if I could make the passes early, it would kind of catch people off guard a little bit, and they wouldn't have their rhythm yet. So, it worked out for the most part, and, had a few guys go down, which helped us out. But all in all, that second moto was definitely survival, and, we were able to do that. So,
all right, open the floor up for questions.
Jeremy, it seemed quite a bit different from Washougal to here. Did you guys find something on the bike? Are you feeling different? What's going on?
A little bit of both. I mean, working on some things like just off the bike as well. Just trying to get a little bit more. I mean, obviously it's the end of the season, so you can't get much more fit, but just trying to do a couple different things differently. And then my parents had a local race. They had like 500 riders on the weekend off. So on Monday and then on Tuesday of this last week, I tested. So there was like 3-4 ruts in every corner, and I was like, we're gonna tune this Geico machine in a little bit. And we were able to make like a little percentage gains on the fork and chalk and take the edge off, and I felt like it helped today. But obviously, the second moto, I mean, it was just survival, like Joey said. I mean, it's all in the start.
Zach, talk about, captain of the motocross or Team USA, a track you're familiar with and like. Tell me about the Motocross the Nation's pick for you.
Yeah, it's something I've dreamed of since I was a little kid, and to be named team captain is a huge honor. I mean, I've asked Roger pretty much every year since I started in Europe, and finally this year I'm on form to be able to have the opportunity to go, so I'm very grateful for the selection, and really looking forward to it. Like you said, I used to live really close to the track, and I feel like I'll have a lot to offer as a team player as well, so I'm really looking forward to the event.
For Jeremy, how much does it help to get back on track after a race that didn't go your way? I know it was just a start and it was a mud race, but is this a big boost to be like, okay, I'm back on track?
I mean, yeah, it's nice. I mean, I don't really dictate off the second moto. I dictate off the first moto. I locked bars with RJ and my teammate Chase, and we've all stayed in it. And then I was able to kind of get through and not go down and work my way forward, and had a good battle with the guys, and Joey was out front doing his deal, and I tried to reel him in, but he was just doing what he needed to do to get the win, and I didn't know where Zach was, and then he got third. It's like the guy's on it this year. I mean, he's gotten bad starts. He's had, we've all had like the same issues, and he's overcome them, and that's massive. Like, that's a big thing in this series, and the boys are riding good.
Joey, I know you didn't get the win today, but the races have been really good these last couple, including this first moto win. What's the attitude like even during the week? Is it just that much easier to put in work now that you know it's going the right direction? Because you've definitely had your ups and downs this year.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, it's almost worse during the week when you have a good weekend, because you don't want to take anything for granted, and you don't want to slack off just because you had a good weekend. So a lot of the times it's not harder necessarily, because it's always good. You're in a good mood and everything is positive, but it definitely, you're always thinking about what could be better and trying to improve. You don't necessarily come out of the weekend like, oh, we won, sweet. We'll just ride this week. A lot of times it's, where was I slow, or where could I have been better? So it's definitely been easier, like, for sure. Having good races is beneficial, and it makes it worth it. But I wouldn't say anything has really changed during the week. Still trying to figure out, fine tune, where can we be better, and where what I need to work on.
Zach actually did race Donations once before. Different country, kind of.
Three times.
3 times, okay. Just like Alex Martin last year.
Yes,
so
sir.
talk about your experiences previously for Team Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I mean, the first year was in England. I got lucky, and they didn't have enough money to send a third person, and I was already there, and they were renting bikes from the team, and they were like, hey, you want to do this? So I did that, and then I also did the one in Colorado, which was really cool because it was, at home, and then Lommel as well, which we didn't make the A main, but it was okay. But I mean, yeah, Team USA is always the dream for everyone. I think I think the first destinations I ever watched was 2000 at St. Jean with Ricky Pastrana and Rhino, and since then I've wanted to go, and I mean, for me, it's almost more special that it's there at Matterley than it would be, here next year at Redbud or wherever it's going to end up being. So I'm super happy with the selection.
Do you have any insight to Covington is normally a 250 guy? You're kind of teammates in a way because you're both on Husky. Do you know anything about his 450 skills or how that should go? I
don't know anything about it. I was actually kind of surprised that they didn't switch me to the 450, but Roger was adamant that he wanted me on the 250, and because I've overcome some bad starts and it's hard to get a good start against the 450, so he was adamant that he wanted me on the 250, and I said okay.
Jeremy, did we hear that you might be staying in the 250 class now? I think at one point you were going to go 450 next year. Are you sure what your plans for the future are yet? Do you know?
No.
You don't know yet?
I mean, I'm contracted to go 450. I could go if I wanted to. There's been some talks. I mean, I've definitely haven't had the best year. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I've been pretty disappointed in my year. Supercross and I just struggled a little bit outdoors so far. So we'll see. I'll make a decision when the season ends, and I'll make a smart decision, and that's for the best for me and for Honda.
Any other questions? Thank you, guys.
Case closed.